Hello viewers, welcome to Wiki Learnings.
So what is role of a project manager? So as you all know, so project manager has to deal with multiple things like he has to work on budgeting, he has to do planning, he has to do problem solving, he has to spare time for everything, almost setting the goals, tracking the progress, talking to people, spending his time in communication and resolving the day-to-day issue, and keeping the customer happy, like multiple things, right? So at any given time, so many things are going in his mind always, right? So he try most of the times a project manager tries to do a multitasking. From where the error comes, right? He tries to attend a customer phone call. He tries to take a note of it, note down his own personal work. He tried to attend a meeting. He tried to send email. Everything. He tried to form a strategy in his head, and he also tried to, works on some facts and figures, some data, and some reports and everything, right? So, how many of you agree that multitasking is a real productive thing? Multitasking is really helpful. So, how many of you agree? Please type yes. Yes, I can see one yes from Rahul Guru. Prasad is saying yes. Okay, Hari Prasad. Multiple people are saying yes. Good. But ironically, you go to any standard institute, any standard business institute, or any proper what do you call time management coach, you will understand multitasking is actually not productive. Instead of spending your time on one particular thing, spending 100% of your fullest energy, you are trying to spend 10% of your energy on few things, and you are not utilizing your mind to the fullest capacity. So this is not a multitasking actually, this is a switch tasking, which is not good for you. And as a project manager, it will reduce your efficiency. It will also not good for your project too. So there is a gentleman, Mr. Eliyahu Goldratt, who invented a concept called the theory of constraint. I strongly recommend you to kindly Google what is theory of constraint and who is Mr. Eliyahu Goldratt after this session. So he clearly explains, instead of doing the multitasking, if you concentrate on one particular task at any given time, it will always yield better productivity. So so we all believe multitasking is actually giving more productivity, which is not. Okay, this is a myth actually. So the project manager is always under, and if a project manager is not an organized man, he is always under a tension, he is always under stress. You can see the first picture. So his project is like a disorganized cupboard. So he is traveling multiple things. He tries to generate new ideas. He is working on new concepts. It leads to a lack of it leads to a high disorganized. It is making him disorganized, and also it is disturbing him his work-life balance too. So how a project manager can stay more organized so that he has a better work-life balance, and also he can fulfill all his duties as a project manager, and as an organization, how he can keep his organization happy. So that is the purpose of this presentation today. So we are going to see 5 daily routines of a highly organized project manager now. So first, number 1, it's day planning. So before start of your day, just spare 10 minutes for yourself and write down what is your daily goals actually. So whatever it may be your office time, let's say you are reaching office early or late, doesn't matter. Whenever you reach office, please spare first 10 minutes for yourself. Just list down what are all your ideas, what are all the tasks you're supposed to do for that particular day. Do not try to respond to your emails and your phone calls before you make your day plan. Say for some reasons your management or your stakeholders are asking you to reach office a bit early. you have to go 10 minutes before that so that you can make your own daily planning. Whosoever is making a day plan, once you start list down your daily task, it will give you a clarity. So it will also give you a sense of feel that what you are going to do today. If at all there is any further help is required, you are knowing it at the start of the day itself, so that you have the time for the whole day to talk to people and to talk to the what do you call, and you can also get a chance to help others actually. And I strongly recommend you to keep a single notebook for all your meetings. I have personally observed many around 5-6 C-level people, that is the CEOs and CFOs, who follows a single notebook for all their official stuff, and who follows multiple notebooks. Like one diary you will take for office meeting, and one diary you will take it for your some other workshop. So who follows multiple notebooks, they always take more time to respond. They take more time to recall actually. They are not staying updated basically. So I recommend you to keep a single notebook for all your official office related affairs, so that you can you have all the data handy. This is a small tip I am giving. And next is daily stand-up meeting. This is not part of PM walk, but this is part of a Scrum and Agile method. But there is nothing wrong in adopting when something is good. So this we are following in our organization, and we are identifying awesome results. So in daily stand-up meeting, it is a time-boxed principle. Each function will represent one person. That person can be a trainee or can be a HOD, it doesn't matter. Each function has to represent one person. We all have to meet at the fixed time and at the fixed place. It is like a heartbeat of the organization. Every day this daily stand-up meeting must happen. If the attendance is poor, if the attendance is only 50%, it's still okay. We supposed to conduct this daily stand-up meeting every day. People have to answer only 3 questions actually. So what I did yesterday and what I am going to do today, and is there any impediment or risk in my path. For example, a designer can tell, I have released GA drawing for so and so project yesterday. I am planning to release a manufacturing drawing of so and so project today. My department printer is not working, plotter is not working, so I need a help from say IT department. I want project manager to facilitate this. That's all. Like this, so if everyone has to come prepared, so that that particular representative will not take more than 30 to 40 seconds. Okay. There is also another benefit because of this. So after your hectic day, you are reaching home at 7:30 or 8 o'clock. Some of the stakeholder will call you and take away all of your time actually. Okay. So you are also directly or indirectly encouraging that, and you are spending your personal time. Instead, if you have this daily stand-up meeting concept, you can conclude that meeting within one line saying, "Sir, kindly take up this matter in tomorrow's DSUM." That's it. So basically this DSUM is an formal forum to highlight the things informally, because we are talking verbally, right? So this is giving an awesome results actually. We are seeing a massive results after implementing this DSEM. Again, I am telling, this is not from PM work. It is not from Project Management Institute. This is now it is the latest trend getting developed. It is there in Scrum and Agile, but we can adopt to our industry very much. Next is tracking. So as I told, this 15 minutes should be at beginning of each day. Generally, let's say your office starts at 9 o'clock. You can have this DSCM at 9:15, so that you have the whole day available for you to complete your task. But if at all you all are going to lunch at the same time, so you can have this DSCM immediately after the lunch, or across during just before your lunch also. But better you should have a half a day before you go for this DSCM, so that this day you will have some time to work on the task whatever you have agreed or your stakeholder have agreed with you, right? Next is tracking and updating. So as I told in my earlier webinar also, this tracking is a little bit of monotonous work, but a project manager has to do actually. So please remember, whatever things get measured only gets managed. All right. So you have to update your action registers, issue registers, and risk registers. You should also able to classify the task into 3 different things. As I told, there may be 100 issues in the organization. All are important, but there can be few tasks, only few tasks which are most important, right? So you should be able to segregate the task between low, medium, and high. Whenever you are registering any issues, try to categorize it. Also try to categorize it in terms of department, with respect to department. Also record the issue with the age, so that later on you can able to work on the data. What is the which issue has taken more time, and which department has taken more time to settle it, etc. All right. Also, you spare some time in expediting your vendors and subcontractors. If you have a dedicated team in your organization to expedite your vendors and subcontractors, it's good. Still, you have to expedite those expediters so that your project is on safer side, right? Normally, I prefer to do this project schedule updation post lunch, because after having a lunch I want to have a walk. So I will go to the workshop, I will see the works, particularly any important projects I want to see, I will see, or if my time permits I will take a round of a whole shop, so that I am staying healthy after lunch. After my lunch, and I also I can come and update my issue registers and my action register, and I still have got half a day with me. So I prefer to do it in post lunch, but whichever time permits you, you can do it, no problem. And this is a very point number 4. This is touch base. See guys, I personally took 3 projects in my career in my current company. In that all 3 projects, I called customer before they call in a fixed time gap. Okay, I can even name the customers also. All these projects, in all those telephone calls normally, and there are few other projects where I always wait for the customer to call me. Okay, I never bother to call him. So whenever the customer who calls me, I was already doing some work, right? I am stopping my work somewhere in between. Then I am going. So which means I am doing switch tasking. I am doing multitasking, right? I am leaving some of the work in the midway. I am trying to do some other work actually. And also, since I do not have any data right across with me, what I am doing, I am calling my teammate who is aware of that matter. So can you come, hello buddy, can you come and help me here? Can you join this call? So I am making him also to be less productive. So he is leaving that in between and coming to me. So that telephone call, let us say the telephone calls take 10 minutes. But if I call a customer, that call normally takes only 5 minutes actually. And always whatever the request I have, that request is immediately fulfilled by the customer. Customer is directly agreeing to my request actually. So I strongly recommend all project managers, if you want to be really organized project manager, please pick a phone and talk to your customer before he calls you actually. If you have multiple customers, have a schedule, just paste it in your work desk and call customer A on Monday and customer B on Tuesday and customer C on Wednesday. Actually, what time you need to call your customer, that you and him will have a rapport once you start talking to him regularly. You know his schedule actually. You will come to know his calendar. You know is this the right time to call him or not. So you can choose this yourself. This is helping the project and also helping you to perform better. The purpose of call is, are we on the same page? That's it. So indirectly you are making your customer as part of your decision actually. So there will not be any surprise to your customer at any given time. So you can always go to your customer for any favor. So I strongly recommend you to have a touch base with your customer before he calls you. You always call him first. Number 5 is communication. So communication is something which information is needed for each concerned stakeholder. You have to give only that. You should not give less and you should not give more. This is a bit tricky subject, and it is explained very well, and it is a separate knowledge area in PMBOK. So whenever you got a new communication from your client, you immediately pass on to the concerned stakeholder. Similarly, do not try to communicate the irrelevant data with the irrelevant people. For example, a design manager doesn't seriously want to know anything about what is going on at a construction site. If he asks, if he is interested, please encourage him, please share it. Otherwise, do not pour the information with the people. It will lead to confusion actually. And it is, as I told, it is a bit of tricky subject. You should able to judge whether this information is required or not. It is required to be shared with that particular stakeholder or not. Many times we are getting emails with 50 people marked in CC. We also do not know why this many people are in the loop. And many of the times we are seeing a request is asked to someone, but he is not in the to list. He is in the CC list, right? So this email etiquette you have to develop basically first yourself, so that you can train your stakeholders as well. So these are the 5 daily routines I am recommending.